bloody hell. It's nuts. How's everybody going? I hope you're all good. I've got to get a 5x5 so we can start this. Yeah, sorry it's a bit late. We had gremlins, everything just shut down. So they're trying their funny tricks again already. So yeah, we'll keep it crossed. So bearing in mind there could be buffering and cutouts for stuff by stuff. Right, cool. Earthheart, awesome. Thank you very much. Yep, you're a moderator now. I don't know why that happens, but yeah, luckily I was just at the right time at the right place. So that is all good in the hood. So audio and visual is good. That's the main thing. Right, welcome everybody. This is something that I just could not let go. This is nuts right now. I don't know how many of you guys are aware out there of what's been going on with wildfires. Yes, it's more than just one or two. And there's all sorts of sinister stuff going on as well. So we're going to be looking into possible reasons why all this stuff is happening. And also, I've been frantically downloading loads of video clips to show you guys. And one of them is quite interesting. It's about this retired firefighter, about his experience dealing with wildfires in the past. And the stuff he's seeing now, he's never seen anything like it. We're talking about aluminium and glass literally melting all over cars. It's just not possible during a bog standard wildfire should it just breeze through an area. Okay, so we're going to be doing some deep diving, and we have got some things to show you. Yes, absolutely. So let's start with where they are taking place right now. So we are going to look at this one. So, okay then, over in Spain right now, wildfires in Tenerife forced thousands to evacuate or stay indoors. Look at this, more than 7,500 people have been evacuated. Okay, so yeah, this isn't no small fry. Okay, we are seeing all sorts going on now. It's very, very odd. Excuse me. So why is all of this happening around the same time? And look at that, nearly 6,500 acres. Wow, nuts. So that's just one place. Okay, what else have we got? So let me see. I'm just going to cancel as I go because I'm just going to get confused. And it's good. So we're expecting a few more people to turn up into the chat. Where else have we got? Right, let's have a look at this. Portugal, 4th day, 1,400 people forced to evacuate. And this was recent. This was 9 days ago now. All right. Look at this, nearly 1,000 firefighters. Now that is a lot of firefighters. If there's any firefighters in the chat or indeed watching on the replay, I'd like to hear your inputs about what you're seeing and from your experience. Obviously, when we look at the temperatures are crazy, absolutely nuts. And looking at this, 17,500 acres almost. Wow, that's insane. 20 villages all evacuated. So that's that one. Where else have we got? This one's quite interesting. Canada. Excuse me. Now this is 3 hours ago. This is extremely recent. Okay, so this is pretty much as up to date as you possibly can get. 20,000 residents of Yellowknife. Okay, so that's in the Northwest Territories. Quite interesting because we're going to have a listen to something in a sec about that. Wow. Yeah, so as we can see, look at that, 240 wildfires all going down right there. So let me just move that over to there so you can get a better view. 640 people. Well done, everybody. I know this is short notice. And this is quite interesting. Look at this, Associated Press, climate glimpse. So you are going to see that in the narrative, okay, climate. Now look at the difference, what we saw now. In the Canary Islands, Tenerife, look, 8,000 people, different numbers. You really can't believe what the mainstream is saying, okay? And they are using the climate change thing, etc., as you would probably expect them to do so, all right? But this is how much social media is gaining power, because, let me just see, sorry. Look, this is BBC. This is yesterday. Hawaii wildfires, directed energy weapon and other false claims go viral. Okay. So you know when the mainstream are talking about this that they are worried, because social media is getting more coverage than these clowns. Look at this. This is another thing, BBC Verify. We spoke about this on a video a few months ago. And yes, they are using it right now. It's basically their version of fact checkers. It's just absolutely BS with bells and whistles all over it, okay? Look at this, energy weapon. So what they do, this is what they do, right? They find pieces on social media which obviously look fake, but they give the mainstream sheep public stuff like this. I mean, I've seen this. It's absolutely fake, and it's correct. That's false. This as well, in my opinion, that's fake. Why are trees standing? It's just absolutely nuts. Misleading. This is another one as well. I've only come into finding out about this land grab about that island, okay? But that does require some more research. I just not had the time. This literally just blew up recently. But look at this. Look, what do you want the BBC to verify, to investigate? Well, just click on there, shall we? BBC Verify. Wow, 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 wow. So what would you like the BBC to investigate? I would like the BBC to investigate the BBC. Because this is a clown world program, okay? Absolute BS, 110%. Wow, look at that. We've almost got 1,000 people in already. So yeah, someone says, why are you pushing this? I want to know what's really going on, because like many of us in the chat, we don't believe what we just saw with the BBC. And we're preppers. We need to prepare for it. So I'm glad you made the stupid comment there, because at the end of this live stream, we have got solutions and we have got things to help people should they be caught up in all of this stuff which has been going on. Okay, so let me just have a quick look. Right, what I need to do, when I said I've got a friend right out in there in Canada, the other friend I've got in Portugal, I've not been able to contact him, so I'm quite worried about him. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a message which my friend sent me over in Canada, and I hope this microphone on there picks it up, so you're going to have to listen really quiet, okay?
The guy I was talking to last night said that he thinks HAARP may have a bearing on it up in Alaska, where they're manipulating the weather. Right, better go. Thank you. We're back to cutting trees.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Much appreciated. They're literally doing lots of clearing with these fires going on. So he is busy, and obviously Canada is a little bit behind us. He finishes work at midday because of the heat, etc. They start really early. So that's absolutely nuts. So obviously you heard my friends there talk about this HAARP. Now let's have a look. These are the current locations of HAARP facilities all around the planet. Okay. Now, obviously, looking at that, it's easy to count, but it's not until you zoom into some of them and they are multiple locations. Okay. These are the geos, telling you where they all are. This is quite interesting because he mentioned Alaska. All right. So we're going to go into there because from my research a long time ago, the one in Alaska was the very first one. Okay, so in there we have 2. Up here, Fairbanks. Now here we go. This is the real deal. All right. So you got this one here. Do you know? I wish I was able to. How do you change it to satellite image? I wish I bloody knew. I'd done that on my phone, but on here, there's no tabs for me to find out, which is a right pain in the ass. Right, we'll collapse that legend. Look at that, there's nothing on here. What an absolute pain. So anyway, it's a shame really, because when you zoom in on the satellite image, you can see it absolutely crystal clear. But on here, you just can't. I wish I knew how to find. What a pain. Bitch. But yeah, if you put that on satellite image, you can see loads more detail in there. And I've mentioned this on live streams before, right? We've actually got, there's a couple in the US. We've actually got one here in the UK. Now, how many people are aware of this? It's not far from where I was the other day, actually. And one of these days, when I find time, when I'm on my own, when I haven't got family with me, I'm going to go there and visit it. So, yes, I would love to know why the hell I can't get the bloody satellite on here. There's no way of doing anything. Let me just see. If I put it onto that, it'll probably lose it all. Freaking typical, isn't it? Yeah, all of a sudden the locations are gone then. Yeah, but anyway, that is the HARP locations. And if you don't know what HARP is, it's something like the High Aurora Advanced Research Project, and it's been going a long, long time. I know many of you guys will know. Let me see if I can put why? Oh, here we are. Look at that, layers. Aha, right, sweet. I wonder if I can do it on here. Can't find it. Typical. Right. Right, okay. It's typical. It's always the way when I get fripping bloody gremlins and stuff. There we go. Okay. So this is one of the facilities, right? This is what we're looking at. So this would be the ground station, the control area, and this is the array which they use. I think you have to pay quite a lot of money to get access where you can really zoom in and see much more details. Now, what we got here are generators ramping up the power and amplifiers, and all of these are the array antennas. All of these work pretty much in unison to focus an energy beam which goes up to the ionosphere and bounces down to wherever they see fit. And that energy can absolutely be switched and changed into all sorts of frequencies which they can absolutely control. So that's a very brief description of HARP, all right, if you don't know what that is. So what else have we got? We need to look into stuff now. Now, quite interestingly enough, I found this video, and when I started looking into it, the site is down. It's pretty much crashed. I think it's this one here. Yes, if you look at the top of the screen, it says viewer.hangar.com. So what we're looking at now is an area in Hawaii recently, the other day. Why are all those trees still like that? And why are all the houses gone. Surely wood burns easier than buildings. So what have you got? Buildings, concrete, stone, brick, some wood, obviously, and metal. So you have to ask yourself, why the hell are all them trees not been scorched by fire? It really does beg the question. It seriously does. We look at those buildings. So you're going to see some footage very soon about more things like this and more examples of exactly what's been going on. Okay, it really is a little bit sinister. So we're going to go to this slide. Look, this is what happened when that video went viral on Twitter earlier. Look at that. Absolutely just gone. Nuts. Another thing as well. Look at this. Why do you think that rope hasn't been caught fire right next to that boat? This was taken on the port, okay, where all of that great big catastrophe has pretty much happened over there in Hawaii. So we're just going through the chat now. Yes, it looks like some of you are on board. That is very suspicious, John Knox. Yeah, you could say that again. But yes. Now, I don't know what stage of awareness you guys are, because everyone's different, obviously. So we are going to look at the fact that DEW, directed energy weapons, not direct energy weapons, directed energy weapons. We are going to look at that. That it is not a conspiracy theory. It is not BS. This is very real. Roll VT.
They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
Directed energy weapons, also known as DEWs, are weapons that deploy a highly focused energy beam, including lasers, microwaves, and particle beams. After decades of research in the United States, defense contractors announced back in 2015 that these systems are expected to come online by 2020, and are currently announcing that they are ready to deploy in the field. Russia, China, India, and the UK are developing directed energy weapons as well. And Iran has had them in use since at least 2013. In 2019, Turkey was the first to officially deploy this technology in combat, when they claimed to have shot down a Chinese-made drone supplied to the Libyan National Army. On September 16th, Defense Secretary Mark Esper announced that China and Russia have already weaponized satellites with directed energy weapons.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
And for the past few years, many have wondered if these advanced weapon systems have anything to do with the unprecedented fires we have seen in the past few years. Laser-based weapons are able to destroy the target with external heat, and microwave weapons are designed to penetrate the target through external antennas and sensors and ignite the internal electronics, destroying them from the inside out. This could explain how thousands of homes have rapidly burned into their own footprint, while the trees surrounding them survive. And it could explain the several cars we have seen utterly destroyed, with temperatures hot enough to liquefy glass and metal.
Really? So yes, this isn't being discussed on the mainstream, other than being totally dismissed as a conspiracy theory. Okay? All I want you to do is use your own intuition, your own eyes, and your own ears. That's all I ask of you. So look at this. We are looking at molten metal all over the floor. And we're going to find out very shortly how hot it has to be to actually do that. Okay, so a forest fire would go through that, set fire to them, and then it will go out. No way will a fire be that hot naturally to do that. This is unprecedented, what we're actually seeing right now. This is what I was talking about that firefighter. Now, I want you to listen to this because, like I said, any firefighters out there who are watching this, please send me an email if you have any thoughts about what we are discussing on tonight's show. So I want you to listen to this. It isn't very long, but it's very, very poignant.
And also the number of fires was extremely alarming. Where did all these fires come from? Mm-hmm. How did they all start at once? And so I started digging. And when I started digging, I started looking at the research that was available for directed energy weapons, and what I started reading actual government documents that people had put up, various people had put up on the website, and looking at the destruction, which I have never seen in my career, the totality of the destruction on the structures. There was absolutely nothing left of the structures except foundation. Now, I've seen that with other fires, but not where it moves like that. Not where the fire is moving and one side of the street everything's fine, the other side of the street it looks like a nuclear.
Yeah, a nuclear war zone. Now, try to let all of that sink in. I know this may be a big eye-opener for some of you guys, okay? And I know that there's going to be some of you watching right now who absolutely know what's going on, okay? So hopefully people are going to learn stuff tonight and spread the word. So what were we looking at just then? We're looking at all of these vehicles absolutely being torched to bits, and the trees are all still there. Now just apply logic to this. There's a fire, started off in the woods or wherever it was, it's deliberate or whatever, that's the cover story. When you have to do or clear certain areas for certain reasons, which will become clearer over time, how do you think it happens? Now this, right, I hope you guys are ready for this, because I know lots of you have a rough idea what happened on 9/11, okay? For me, that was one of the major triggers that we've seen for a long time. 2020 was another trigger, okay? I want you to watch this. Now, this isn't very long, but it really does open your eyes. And then when you see parts of the building structure standing there, so you're looking at steel columns and concrete, you can actually watch it just turn to dust and fall away. That's nuts. I want you to watch this, okay?
You have a steel beam flying through the air, and it's dissolving as it flies through the air. It's turning into dust, and it's not hitting anything. The building was not smashed to bits. So that's why pulverizing doesn't describe it.
No explosions, no heat, no flames.
Vaporization implies high heat. If you would have seen the whole building glowing, people would have been blinded by the light. It's very dense dust. It initially blocked out all of the sunlight, 100% of the sunlight, so it was pitch black. You come to the realization that these pieces of material are becoming dust. They're frothing up into dust as they fall.
And if you watch some of these pieces, you can actually see them turning to dust before they hit the ground.
It turns to dust.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, just like a Star Trek thing. It just, poof, it's gone.
What we saw and what happened on 9/11 was something that we as the public had never seen before.
What happened on 9/11, I believe today it was not a controlled demolition, it was not nanothermite, and it certainly was not the pancake effect of two planes hitting a building.
There's a cluster of core columns that remains here. Watch what happens to them. They just faint. Here's building 7, which is a 47-story building. It's like 650 feet tall, approximately. This has got to be over that.
It physically disintegrates in front of your eyes. Not concrete, but steel.
You can see all of this just frothing up into dust. And it's also blowing downward. That's about 700 feet tall. If that thing tipped over, it would take out a few blocks worth of buildings. How's it going to go straight down? You got a 700-foot hole in the ground, dropping into?
Insane. I know. Watching that just turn to dust. Incredible. In fact, from memory, from what I've learned over all of these years, I've been looking into this sort of stuff way back in 2008 to date, pretty much. If you see anything on the TV or you hear of anything major going on in the world, try to record live footage of it actually happening. Okay, very, very important. I've been doing the same when all of the stuff that's been going on in Paris and all of the riots, etc. As that was breaking, I was literally downloading as much as I could live stuff. Once you've got that sort of material can be analyzed and cross-referenced and checked with other things which we are considering, connecting the dots, if you will. Because what tends to happen is whatever was done live, it's gone. You probably won't see it again. But if you do see edited pieces of live footage over time, certain things are not there anymore. So it's really, really important to record as much as you can as it's going on. That's just my own thoughts on that, okay? Because there was so much going on 9/11, as we can appreciate, all right? It was just absolutely nuts. Now, this, yeah, look at this.
Recent numbers tell us that 88 people have died, 631 people are missing, and over 13,000 homes have been completely destroyed by the strange fire in Paradise, California. And more than half of this damage occurred within the first 4 hours.
You said that your outbuildings and your house and the houses around you all started to burn at once.
I know that all my stuff started to burn at once, and then my neighbor right across the street, dozens of fires sprang up all around me and below me without, you know, they're far in front of the fire line without any falling burning embers.
Completely ignored by the mainstream media, the anomalous nature of this fire is being reported on by only a few independent journalists. Recently, Shelley Lewis from Supposedly Shelley interviewed 2 California firemen about the strange anomalies they have been seeing firsthand in Paradise. In the trailer park, the steel frame foundations, only a foot off the ground, were all completely warped, bent, and mangled. Every car and truck was completely torched. Every single rubber tire was burned into oblivion, and all that remained was the steel belt system from within. The temperatures were hot enough to melt aluminum. They were hot enough to melt glass. And they were hot enough to decimate every single last thing inside the home. which makes these fires at least 3 times hotter than your average house fire. And yet some things were inexplicably untouched by this super intense heat. Pristine carports with torched automobiles beneath them, next to homes completely burned to ash. Plastic trash cans untouched. The firemen observed that plastics attached to metal completely melted, while plastics by themselves seemed to somehow survive what must have been extraordinary heat. They found an isolated, unattached electrical generator that was completely burned out, like the cars, but the surrounding area was untouched. They discovered a smart meter inside of an enclosed box that completely burned out from its own wiring. They suspect that it could have been the start of some of these fires. Other investigators are observing how guardrails have caught fire where the metal bolts connect to the wood. And many are wondering what type of fire ignites metals while sparing plastic and surrounding trees. Microwaves ignite metal. And 4 years ago, the U.S. Navy demonstrated a directed energy weapon by burning a hole in a truck and destroying a moving target at sea. According to naval research, the weapon system performs flawlessly and is capable of destroying its target with pinpoint accuracy. The mountains surrounding the Paradise fires are riddled with anomalous scars, as if a laser beam scorched swaths of forest while leaving the rest untouched. It is indeed a terribly sordid mystery, and nothing comes but silence from official sources. My first video report on this subject, entitled "The California Wildfires and Agenda 21", was deleted from my channel by YouTube. They wrote me that, upon review, we've determined that it violates our guidelines. In that video, we pointed out how these strange fires are all in the same areas the United Nations Agenda 21 has proposed to be off limits to human use. For newswars.com, this is Greg Reese.
Land grab. What do you think? Why are they doing these things in certain areas at certain times? Like I said, there was a story circulating online. A friend shared a story on Instagram. But the problem is, when you've got so many frigging stories on Instagram, trying to find that particular one's a nightmare. I would urge anyone using Instagram, please stop using frigging stories. It's a nightmare. You can't find it easy. You can't download it and share it. It's just, for a limited period of time, it's junk, in my opinion. So that's my opinion. So, and there's one more to show here as well.
What? John, get out of there! Get out of there! No, I've never seen it like this either. What is going on? What?
What the actual F? Really? I mean, listen, we could go on all night showing all of these video clips and all of the rest of it, but I think we are definitely not being told the truth on the mainstream, as most of us know anyway. It's just nuts how it's all going. And other stories that I've been hearing in Hawaii is a certain area was sealed off where it all happened, and they was trying to get like emergency aid there. And there was only 2 organisations. One was the Red Cross. I can't remember the other one, but everyone else was not allowed in, and people weren't allowed out. Now that is always going to be a nightmare, because people in there, if they want to leave, they should be able to leave. They shouldn't be blocked in by the police. And when questioned, guess what they said? I'm just doing my job. Now, where have we heard that before? Where have we heard that before? Nuts. It's absolutely nuts what's going on. And we are going to see, because I know some of you guys are going to be going, it's not direct energy weapons. That stuff don't exist. It's all made up. Well, let me show you this. Okay. Lockheed Martin. Okay. A defense contractor. Next gen, as in next generation defenses. Okay. Directed energy. Look at this. So it is true. It's not made up. And with this technology, with all of the agendas, why wouldn't they use that technology to their advantage? Now, as you can tell, I'm not sure if this is going to work because we're playing YouTube through YouTube. So this would be interesting to see.
Well, today I'm standing out here with the layered laser defense system behind me at White Sands Missile Range, and we are demonstrating a significant advancement in the capabilities of laser weapon systems against threats that are of interest to all of our war fighters. So in partnership with the Office of Naval Research, ONR, we have demonstrated the capability of negating a surrogate cruise missile in flight with our compact laser weapon system.
Lasers on. I go kill and dealer on. Track looks good. All right, here we go. Fine.
In today's event, it's the first time that a modern fiber laser weapon system with adaptive optics was able to negate a cruise missile. I'm really proud of the team, and we had a multi-BA team that had to work long hours over significant periods of time, and today's results show perfectly how well we performed.
Unbelievable, but absolutely true. These things are very real. So another thing which come up when I was looking into this afternoon is at the end of the day, it does appear that whoever they or whatever it is running the show, if you will, they want everyone herded into populated areas. So when you see key areas literally being erased like this, where are people going to go? They've just lost all their homes. Oh, let's just build some more homes around the city. That's a good idea. And who remembers when I done that live stream about they called it the Line out in Saudi Arabia? They've actually started work on that multi-billion-dollar smart city with like 8 million people to live in or something stupid like that. So yeah, it does make you think when you're seeing all of these stuff happen. And like I say, they're absolutely going to be using the excuse or the reason, oh, climate change is doing this. Climate change, doing wildfires, burning cars and houses but not trees. Really? It's just nuts. So I would like to know what you guys think about all of this in the chat. Earthheart, yeah, share this video because like that guy said in that footage earlier, he got his YouTube video removed for talking about this. So this could be for a limited time only. So if you could share it, thanks for that, by the way. That's a good idea because we don't know how long this is going to be up for. And in fact, I am expecting to be cut off soon. It's just how it is. You get buffering and all of that sort of thing because talking about this sort of stuff, they don't want people talking about this sort of stuff. They just want people to buy the newspapers and believe whatever the crap they put in them newspapers, right? Here we go. Very good. Yes. Why not? I mean, the technology's there. We know how evil they are. They've got zero empathy, so they don't care. Absolutely valid point, for sure. Yeah, publicly, but it was before that. Have a look into it. When I started looking into this in 2008, it was already old tech back then. There is a documentary. It was on the Discovery Channel. I'm not sure it was before 2008, and they was testing this microwave technology, and it was literally focusing beams on US Marines, and they had to stand there for as long as they could to take it. And you're talking of the biggest, burliest combat soldiers just stood there. As soon as that beam touched them, in a second or less, they had to get out of the way. It was literally starting to cook their insides underneath their skin. It's crazy. And that was back then. Can you imagine the development of technology from then to where we are now? And also bearing in mind that the stuff that we saw back then was only for public consumption. Lots of the real stuff, which is really going on, we're never going to see until they want us to literally be under attack with all of this stuff. Some people think I'm crazy, but I really don't care. The more that you become aware and wake up, you just lose that fear. You just don't care, you know. But so many people are waking up, which is really good. There you go. Kevin, fair play. Nikola Tesla, yeah, an absolute legend. What a guy. I mean, if he would have carried on doing what he was doing, we would be living in a different world right now. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would resonate with that statement, 100%. So, yes, Frank, I read that earlier. He actually said in a statement, didn't he? I think it was on Twitter. Yeah, they are laser focused into helping out all of the casualties in that tragedy in Hawaii. Look at the verbiage, laser focused. It's almost like a karmic law. They do these things, but they have to tell us first. But how they tell us is hidden or obscure or very difficult to see in plain sight. But yeah, you're absolutely right, 100%. So yeah, when we're looking through old bag, yeah, I concur, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And it's THEIR, by the way. But yes, I agree. They have. Stop laughing at me. Couldn't help it. Yeah, if you want to see a sideshow, Ukraine. Yeah, that's why I don't talk about it. It's just what a BS sideshow that is, in my opinion. And we're all entitled to it, by the way. So if you don't agree with me and you get triggered, you've got to work on that trigger, okay? It is what it is. Yeah, we said that earlier, just following orders. I mean, we all know what happened in World War II, and the only way that they actually done that is because people literally just done as they're told. All of that was compartmentalized. The people doing that particular job had no idea what all of the other jobs were, and they had no idea how much of an impact their little role would be in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, Steve, you're absolutely right, man, 100%. Beth, yeah, I agree, absolutely, 100%. And it's good to see aware preppers. Like I said in other live streams and videos, the community that we have here who tune into the live streams I do on a regular basis is quite a rare one. Yes, there's prepping communities. Yes, there's truth communities. But when you sort of blend the two together, that is unique. And we have got a very, very special community in here. And the members as well. The members are literally just joining every day. And it's really good to see. You're talking about HARP. Gee, that's right. We showed it earlier. That's not far from Aberystwyth on the west coast of Wales. I will be going over there when I get a chance. So, yes. Right. I'm going to bring it down. Okay. It's good to see everybody in the house, by the way. And That's interesting. Yeah, in the 50s, that would not surprise me, actually. Like I said, we're only being made aware of this stuff as we go through it. But it's one of those things, because there's literally so much going on, and it has been for such a long time, it's very hard to stay focused on one thing. You tend to get sidetracked, and you only do a little bit of research on all of it. But the more people do things like that, and they share it with others, people start putting those jigsaw puzzle pieces together. And that is indeed what we're doing here. So yeah, the Royal Navy, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like I said, compartmentalized, just following orders. It's crazy. You know, I was speaking to a friend of mine recently about this. You look at the age of 17 to 25, okay? What is going on in that time period, okay? The human body is fully developed by then. There's lots of hormonal things going on, okay? There's a lot of anger going on at that time. So what happens? People of that age join the military, join the police, law enforcement, etc., okay? They literally turn you into a machine to kill other human beings. They absolutely know that they can get that energy, flip it, and use it for whatever. And they literally get the humanity out of you and turn you into a killing machine. That's their primary function. Kill the enemy, just following orders. And all the time that's going on, we're going to see this sort of stuff continue. In my opinion, of course. And like I said, we're all entitled to our own. So if you disagree, that's fine, because we don't have to agree. We need to be free to voice our own opinions, okay? So yes, I did see, oh God, I did see a donation of something, but I can't. Oh, there it is. Right. Thank you for that donation, by the way. Flaming brilliant. Oh man, no problem. Flaming brilliant, no pun intended. Oh, dude, that's Tyke Trucking. Absolutely, you're very welcome, sir. 100%. And yeah, to be honest, I didn't expect any donations tonight, because this isn't the regular Friday one. But I was only made aware of all of this today, so yes, I'm playing catch up. Jamie, an anti-denial weapon. Yes, pretty much, my mate. Yeah, for sure. Right, so we're going to bring it right down now, because we've got tons of people in the chat. Right. Here we go. Good question. Timothy, what does the smart meter do? A smart meter emits pulse frequencies which have been proven to damage human health. In a nutshell, pretty much. That's what's not being talked about as openly as it should be. They're just going to show you the BS benefits. Oh, you can get the Internet of Things, which are gadgets all over your house, Wi-Fi connected to your smart meter, so it can all be controlled, and you can walk into a room and go, lights, boom, the lights go on, kettle. You know, it's turning people really lazy. It's voiding people of being able to think for themselves. They just say something and it happens. Internet of Things, downfall of humanity, one part of many parts. So smart meters, yeah, and they are being connected up to the 5G smart grid. We spoke about this before. Excuse me. With the street furniture, which they're using as street lampposts with the stubby arrows on the top. It's a very short frequency, so that frequency bandwidth can't travel as far. Hence, the shorter spaced street lights, where the signal can go from one to the other to the other. When it goes from your street light, it will go to your house, connect to your smart meter, and it's going to send and receive data whenever it wants. And also, because it's digital, we're talking binary, zeros and ones. Anything that's connected to that smart grid can literally be turned off. So turning a 1 to a 0. So, yeah, if you're a conspiracy theorist and you're doing stuff like this, they can go, oh, he's got a smart meter. Okay, let's just cut his power off. Boom. Just like that. So that is why all of the things that most of us are trying to do, which is move away from the city, live off grid, so you're not being controlled. You are literally controlling your own life, giving you power and giving you some degree of freedom. Okay, because all the time you're relying on others, especially the internet and electricity And everything else and anything that's on the grid, you are relying on someone else. If something happens, they decide to turn it off, you've got no freedom, you've got no power, literally. So yeah, that's my thoughts on smart meters anyway. Interesting. Yeah, we have got a good array of people in the house, for sure. Wow. Do you know, I'm not even... How many people are in here? Blimey, blimey, blimey. Yes, please like the video as well. It's really quick, really easy to do. And that will give it a fighting chance to go out there so people can watch this information and try and figure stuff out before they probably will remove this one, to be fair. It's just the terms and conditions. We're pretty tied to it. So, yes. So, we've been talking about all of that stuff. So, if you are in an area where you feel you could be affected, and let's face it, you know, with the HAARP weather manipulation, which they're absolutely using, okay, it's undeniable now. Lots of the stuff that we've been seeing on social media with all of these weird patterns in the skies, crazy stuff, like really hot bursts of like hot sun, and then it's cloudy the next second later. Very peculiar stuff. It's just not natural. It really is not natural. So what can we do about it? As preppers, because we are not just preppers, we are aware preppers. So you do have to think ahead of the game. Excuse me about this. I've still got this wretched virus thing. I've had it since the 3rd of July, believe it or not. Crazy. So this is per person. People should have a bag ready to go. The stories that's been coming out of Hawaii, they literally had 1 to 2 minutes notice. They had to get out of their house, and it's possibly the last time that they're ever going to see their house and all of their stuff. Okay, the whole livelihood's in there. Sentimental things, expensive things, personal things, gone. How are you going to find the bag and pack it with all of the things that are really going to help in 1 minute? How are you going to do it with all of the panic going on? You got kids in the house screaming and crying. You're being distracted. You got thousands of things flooding through your mind. Wouldn't it be good to just have a bag with everything done? You just pick it up, walk out the front door, done. You haven't got to rely on people as much. There's so many people that are leaving these areas and they're going to like Red Cross stations, you know, where they've got bottled water. You've seen it in Hurricane Katrina when they was at the New Orleans Dome, the Smart Dome, I think it used to be called, years ago now. The problem was people were going there, you know, hundreds or if not a few thousand people, all in the big sports hall, okay? You don't know who's in there. The lights get dimmed or they go out. People need to sleep. There's all sorts of sinister, creepy people in there with you, and you've got kids. Would you really want to put yourself in a position like that? Or would you want to think ahead and take control of your own life and prepare for it so you haven't got to go through that stuff? And let's face it, who would want to put themselves in a position like that where you're literally reliant on someone else? You know, you're a human being, you're an adult, you should be taking charge of your own life rather than thinking someone's going to help or you're reliant on someone else. Okay, so a go bag, a grab bag, a 72-hour bag. All right, you're going to want a bag which is going to see you through for 3 days. That is basically an average generalization of a disaster of how long the immediate turmoil will last. Okay, in 3 miles you can 3 days you can pretty much travel to places of safety from any sort of disaster area. Okay, so this bag is going to aid that. So we are talking about wildfires or DEW fires, if truth be known. Okay, if you are fortunate enough to get out with a vehicle, combat park it. Now, who knows what combat parking is? It's a term which is being used now, but all it is if you've got a drive in your house, you back it up. So as soon as you go in the car, you drive, you go straight out. you haven't got to waste time trying to do 3-point turns and all of this stuff. Because when we're talking serious things like this, every frigging second is going to count. Now, would you want to spend that stressed out trying to do 3-point turns? Maybe it's dark or whatever it is. You're just going to add to all of that stress. You want to get out clean. That's why the military do it. And that is why people in the railway sector do it that way. Okay, if there's an emergency, they need to get out of there quick because there's a train derailment, there's a fire, or whatever it is. All employees are instructed to combat park. It makes sense. So yes, also make sure you got fuel in it. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but you need to get away from the area as far away as possible. And if you're in the red, you're not going to get very far, and then you don't want to be conking out, running out of fuel, still in that wildfire DEW event, putting yourself at danger. Okay, radios and batteries. Now, to me, that makes absolute common sense. It doesn't have to be the most expensive scanner radio or ham radio, just an ordinary transistor radio. That's all you need, because you're going to need to tune into local radio stations giving you as much intel as you can possibly swallow to reroute certain things which you might have planned. Okay, so we're going to go on to that in a sec. Batteries. Now, a tip which I've been using, I come up with a long time ago, is whatever electronic device that you've got which requires batteries, if you're going to not use it for more than 3 months, make sure that you put all of the batteries the wrong way around. Okay, that does a couple of things. One, it will never ever corrode. All right, and two, you can pick that device up knowing that there's batteries in there. There's nothing worse than taking the batteries out and thinking you're smart and going, oh good, it's not going to corrode because I'll take the batteries out. You get it out, oh my god, I forgot the batteries. That device is now rendered useless unless you can find some batteries with all of this frigging chaos going on. Okay, so put the batteries in the wrong way around. Once you go to use it, you can open up, flip around the other way around. It doesn't take long, and then hey presto, no corrosion, and your device will absolutely work. I've had strobe emergency military torches and beacons which I'd done that 10 years ago, and when I turned around to put them in, it still worked fine. No corrosion, the batteries are fine as well. Okay, so that is why I pass this information on, because I do it myself. I'm not going to be telling you guys any BS. That works for me. I think it's a good idea. All of my devices are stored that way. So the next thing we're going to go on to is water and or a purifier. It's totally up to you what you want to do in your bag and what sort of budget that you've got. Okay, you can put a few small bottles of water in there, but let's face it, when we're looking at these conditions of these DEW events, the temperature's really hot, obviously with the fire, but it's usually the weather anyway is in its 30s or 40s degrees Celsius. Okay, so water is going to go real fast. So I would probably do both. I would have a small purifier, something that's going to be quick, something you can just scoop up water, put the lid on, shake it, squeeze it, and you're drinking clean, safe drinking water without having to boil it and waste your time. Because time, looking at these events, are literally of the essence. You need to get out of there quick. And if you're thirsty, you're dehydrating, it's so hot, water is going to be very important. So also have a couple of small bottles of water as well. They will sort of get you out the immediate bad area. Okay, as you go further away, you've only got a bag. You can't put the weld in there. You've got to be really savvy of what you put in there. Okay, a couple of small bottles of water, that will get you a couple of miles out of Dodge. Once you're in a safer sort of area, then you can just start using a water filter and just keep going as you go. Food as well, obviously food. Now, if it was me, I would put lots of like stuff that you can open and eat straight away. You don't want to be fanning around cooking stuff with something like that. You're going to probably want high energy bars, peanut butter bars, stuff like that. You're talking lots of energy in a small amount of space, which isn't going to spoil too much when the weather's hot. So don't be a smart ass and put chocolate in there. Okay, honestly, you open that bag, you're going to be squirting liquid chocolate all over the place. It's not a cool thing to do. So think of high energy bars to keep you moving, to give you energy to just push on through this stuff. First aid kit, Absolutely. If you've got no first aid kit in your go bag, you are going to come unstuck. Something's going to happen, and it could be literally a difference between life and death. You go over a barbed wire fence if there's a fire just screaming down the road, and you get over there and you rip your ulterior arteries in the inside of your thigh. If you don't know what you're doing, you can't improvise, you can't think on your feet, you've got no first aid kit, you're browners. You've probably got a few minutes and you'll be dead. You'll lie on the floor, you will bleed out, you will lose consciousness, and you will never wake up again. It's that serious. Always make sure you've got a first aid kit in there. And if we're talking events like this, you need to put trauma care in there as well. So definitely you're going to need tourniquets. You're going to need burns treatment. Okay, so cling film, burns gel, minimum. Okay, but it's all well and good having that stuff. You need to friggin' know how to use it. Go on a first aid course. Go on a medic course. Get some books. Read up on it. Do this in your spare time when you're not wasting your life watching television or bloody Netflix in the evening. Educate yourself. Time is really precious and important. Okay, you need to make sure that you know stuff, because if you're the head of the family and it all goes wrong, they're going to be looking at you for answers. If you've got no basic first aid skills and your little girl, your daughter, gets seriously hurt, there's nothing more tragic than to frantically flap around, don't know what you're doing, and it could get, we don't even want to talk about it, but you get the idea. Okay, first aid kit, meds, and skills. Meds, yes, if you are on any medication, which you absolutely do need to take, make sure that you've got some spares and keep them in that bag. All right, basic common sense. Always store fuels away from the house. Okay, so gas bottles, propane tanks, diesel, petrol, paraffin, whatever it is, don't store it inside or right outside the house. Store it away from the building. Okay, it's just common sense. You don't need me to go on any more about this. All right, it's just freaking common sense. Maps, yes, always have a map, because think about it. You're going to be in an environment, it's really smoky, you can't see that much. In fact, my mate who was out in Canada, when he showed me the footage there, unbelievable. And he said to me, no, it's not fog, it's smoke. And yeah, them poor guys and girls out there have got to breathe that stuff in. And it's not all going to be wood smoke. You know, cars have tires. Tires, incidentally, is one of the most toxic materials that you probably come across on a day-to-day basis. Okay, just a quick story. I was going to use a spare car tire in my garden when I'd done the homestead thing in 2020 as a chicken bath. Any of you guys rear chickens, they need a dust bath. They don't like water. They want a big pile of dust or dirt which they can scrub around in and clean themselves that way. So I've seen people using car tires and filling it up with bits of dirt, sand, dust, and all the rest of it. The chickens love it. They love it. But when I've done some research, because you should always do some research when it comes into your animals, right? Everything was organic. We wanted to keep it clean and good. I thought, car tire, I wonder. Once I looked into it, I watched a video on a guy with an allotment over here in Wales, and he asked for a data sheet for an average car tire, and you would be shocked to see the amount of toxic, real bad stuff in car tires. So yeah, in urban environments where there's lots of heavy traffic, okay, they're going fast, they put the brakes, all these tiny bits of car tire particles are going everywhere. You're breathing it in. That stuff in car tires is seriously toxic. If you don't believe me, if you think it's just rubber, no, look into it. Look at a data sheet. Car tires, hazardous composition. Look it up. Oh my God. I digress anyway. So you need to make sure that you've got maps so you can navigate through. And also make sure that you've got a minimum of 3 escape routes. Okay. Look what's going on in Canada. Gridlocked. They could not get out. There's just one road. Look for alternative roads or routes. Okay. If you've got a 4x4, good. I believe all preppers should have 4x4s because it gives you options if you can't use a road. Okay. You can literally go across fields, go through the woods, go along the beach. Normal 2-wheel drives will come unstuck if they really had to do something different. So you just need to make the most of it. But I would say a 4x4 would be good. If you've only got access to one road and it's gridlocked, like what we saw in Canada, just go off-piste, go across country, get out of that danger area, right? A phone, a power bank, a lead, and chargers. It's common sense, okay? It's absolute common sense. The only reason why I emphasize leads is because a friend of mine, there was 3 of us, we went out and done some camping in an ancient burial chamber, believe it or not. So that was good fun. He goes, oh yeah, I'll just do some videos on my phone. So when we got there, he got his phone out. He went, oh bugger, it's got 5%. Oh, he said, I've got my power bank, one of these. I'll charge my phone up. Guess what he forgot? He forgot his lead, and we didn't have any leads because all of our stuff was already charged up. And I think he had a different connector. So he couldn't use what we might have had anyway. So yes, it was stuffed. Don't forget to put a lead which absolutely connects to your phone, all right? It just makes sense. And a power bank, make sure it's charged up, okay? Don't be using it half full or half empty. Throw it in a bag and say to yourself, oh, I'll charge it up another day. Chances are you'll forget, and the chances are when you need it, it's only got half power in it, and it's not going to be doing your phone, your wife's phone, your kids' phones, or tablets to keep them entertained. You're going to screw up. Make sure it's all charged up. And also plug in the wall chargers. You know, if you do end up in the hospital or something and you need to sort of stay in comms with your parents or whatever overseas, you know, you can absolutely charge your phone up in hospital and all that sort of thing. And whilst that's the case, you can probably recharge your power bank too. Pet items. Not everyone talks about pets, okay? So these people literally had 60 seconds to get out of their house, get in a car and just literally go. And some people didn't even have the option to use their car. They had to go on foot. They had no bags. They had nothing prepared. They had dogs under their arms. There was smoke everywhere, sirens, fire. You can imagine how frigging traumatic that must have been. And I saw a video this afternoon, and it made me feel quite sick, actually. You've probably seen it. It was on Twitter earlier. There was this vehicle driving through this street, and it was literally, 10 feet either side of this car. There were flames everywhere, and there was in a traffic jam. The guy was frantically bipping his horn. The guy sitting in the back filming the video, he was breathing so heavily, and he's looking around, and then he started saying, oh my God, there's bodies there. And he wanted to get out and help them. And the driver said, no, stay in there, it's too late for him. You're seeing people burned to death. Really sinister stuff. And there's no way I'm going to share that. Okay, it's just too traumatic. And I know YouTube's terms and conditions, this video would definitely be pulled. So something we really have to do consider is our pets. Okay, take whatever you think you need for your animals for 3 days. 3 days. Okay, you haven't got to go away with 200 weight of pedigree chum, right? Think about it. It's probably better to use dry food. It's probably lighter than tin food, right? Important documents, okay? Passports, ID, anything to do with the house, because there's a high chance that your house is going to perish, okay? If you've got the deeds, if you've got insurance documents, mortgage application details, all of the important stuff, right? Take it. If you're worried about keeping the genuine original documents in a bag and it's at work or in your car, absolutely understandable. Photocopy it, okay? Copy it or put it in there. It will be something. It's really going to help try to get back to some degree of normality over a period of time, should that event move onwards and pass eventually, okay? We're only going by people who have been here before, and we learn by their mistakes. So hopefully this is going to sink in and we can move forward, okay? Cash, absolutely cash. Because when you think of fires, you're going to probably witness electricity grids go down as well. So no card readers, no ATMs. Just make sure you've got a stack of cash in there. Just think of what you're going to probably be using it for. Hotel accommodation, maybe. I mean, if you really want to carry a shelter and a sleeping bag in there as well, your bag's going to start to get really big and really heavy. And if you're out of condition, you're breathing in smoke, you ain't going to get very far anyway. So you really need to think about all of the stuff you put in the bag. These are just ideas that I come up with in my own mind. And you're free to put whatever you want in the bag. And I did see some pilchard there in the chat said 24 pack of beer. Yeah, well done. Honestly, there's always one in there. So yes, cash, That is going to absolutely help. All right. Who has seen an escape hood or a rescue hood? I got some back in 2020. There was on eBay, and I think there's £20 each. They come in a black sort of SAS pretty much nylon pouch with a vacuum sealed foil pouch, really jammed in there tight. And I've folded the flap over the foil so you open it and you can literally just pull it out. Once you tear that open, you can literally just put this over your face and it will be an absolute game changer. These things are used if you are caught up in a building that's on fire and there's smoke everywhere. I think that gives you 30 seconds or a minute of clear oxygen to breathe whilst you're getting out of that situation, okay? It may not seem a long time, but yeah, you try holding your breath for that period of time with lots of stress going on. And every time you cough or you stub your foot or something, you scream, you open your mouth, you're breathing in that toxic crap. Rescue hoods, really, really good. You can find them. I've seen some on eBay earlier, and they're from China, and they're about 20 quid. These ones are. And they look like they're made of tin foil, sticky back plastic, and a couple of bottle tops. Do not buy those. Please do not buy those. Yes, they're cheap, but you can get much better, really good military ones like I got second hand for the same price. Don't be fooled by that brand new stuff from China. Something as important as breathing, that's the most important thing of all. Don't do it. Okay. What else have we got? Torches. Torches are imperative. When you've got fire, you've got smoke. When you've got smoke, you've got darkness. When you need to see, you need a torch. If you don't carry one on you already, okay, think about getting one if you haven't got one. And if you really are stuck of what to do, there was a live stream I done last night. You need to go onto my channel, look at where it says live, and it's all about these torches which we showed last night. And there's massive discounts on there. It will really help. And there's also a discount code as well. So you're going to save an absolute heap if you are in the market for torches. Like I said, go to my channel, go to live. You will see it last night, summer mad giveaway or freebies, etc. about torches. Really important that you got a torch. A fire blanket. Now, when you go into hotels or any sort of buildings like that, in kitchens and restaurants and things, you will absolutely see a fire blanket. It's a health and safety requirement, okay? If you're dealing with things like that and you need a fire blanket, they're a great idea. They only pack up probably, I don't know, about 8 or 9 inches, probably by about 5 or 6 inches, and they're probably about 1/4 of an inch thick, all right? Having something like that jammed in your bag and you're going through a wildfire, things get crazy because they always get crazy in wildfires. Have you seen the videos? I mean, you saw a tiny glimpse of it earlier, okay? Your son falls over, fire comes over him and his legs are on fire. You can get this blanket out really quick. Something like that I'd put absolutely in the top of my pack. I'll put that in there last. You unzip it, you grab, that's the first thing. You just literally pull it out of his bag, blanket, and you smother. You starve the oxygen and that fire will go out. Don't forget, fire requires 3 things like we do in survival, the fire triangle, okay? So you want fuel, oxygen, and heat, okay? You're starving that fire of oxygen by wrapping a blanket around it. You're going to literally turn their degree of burns from major to minor if you act quick. So a fire blanket's really good. Also, a space blanket. Now you can get them really cheap. They're reflective, so they're going to reflect some degree of heat, okay? And they fold up to nothing. Just a little bit bigger than a credit card, about 4 times as thick. You can put that anywhere. Having a space blanket, if you got that, or a space hood like a poncho, you can literally put it on, cover yourself up, and cover your mouth and just run through a corridor with flames and smoke, etc. It's going to be more helpful than if you did have nothing at all, okay? Because it will reflect, but it's not going to last long because it's really thin, obviously. You could probably use that in conjunction with the fire blanket as well. What else have we got on here? A whistle. Whistles are good. You need to make sure that you've got whistles. Have you tried shouting and screaming with lots of chaos going on? Not many people will hear it, but if you've got a good whistle, try to get one that's SOLAS approved. SOLAS. It's an approval requirement for search and rescue and military personnel, they have to go through certain tests which emit certain a minimal amount of decibels. They're great for rescue. And obviously, whistles take up no room, okay? You're going to do that to attract help. Blow on that sucker 3 times, okay? And just keep doing it every 10 seconds. It's an international distress code, all right? Make sure you look this stuff up if you don't know. Toiletries and hygiene, absolutely. If you're going to be on the move for 3 days and you're going through all of that heat, that smoke, you're going to stink, you're going to sweat, you've been walking a long way. If you don't keep yourself clean down there, yeah, you're going to get blisters, you get infections. You don't have to go crazy, even if you put a couple of packs of little wet wipes or body wipes and make sure you can clean your teeth. That's pretty much all you're going to need. And maybe some toilet paper. If you're a bit scared and you don't want to use leaves, take toilet paper, okay? Don't knock it till you try it. Dock leaves are fantastic. I've been there and done it, okay? And last but not least, what everyone should consider putting in a bag to evade wildfires or DEW attacks, as they are now lovingly referred to. Friends and family's contact numbers, okay? What I do in my EDC wallet, I have a list of names of people that I know and trust all around the country with their phone numbers on there, and I've laminated it. I've cut off the corners so they're smooth, and it lives in my wallet. If something happens to my phone, think of something. You drop it, it goes in the water, it gets damaged, it gets scratched, you've lost your power bank, it runs out of power, you can't use your phone, okay? You've got these numbers. You find someone who has got a phone, you find a phone box, you go into a hotel or a phone booth, use the phone, contact loved ones, keep them in the loop of what's going on. It's going to absolutely help, okay? It really, really will. So, right, okie dokie. There's that. Right. Let me just check something on here. Because, as I say, I've got my friend over in Canada. I want to make sure he's okay. Because, let me see, he was due to be on a break. No, he hasn't come back yet, so I'm guessing he's still fighting out there. It's crazy. But like I said, there's stuff going on out there which is not being talked about. It really is not being talked about. And like we saw earlier with the stuff which really happened on 9/11 when they've looked into it, yeah, absolutely. Let me see. If you're new here as well, please consider subscribing to the mailing list. Now, I actually sent a newsletter out yesterday, okay? I figured it out now. It was a big technical nightmare for me personally. It's done. And we've got quite a few new people go onto the account now, onto the list. And we've got over 5,000 people on that mailing list. So the reason for me setting this up, and yes, I do have to pay every month to keep this running, along with about 10 other different things. It all adds up. But the mailing list, should something happen to this channel, because I'm talking about stuff like this, I can still contact you guys and push you to other areas which I will probably migrate to. Odyssey, Rumble is a nightmare. It's a joke. I know loads of people like it, but if you're a creator, trust me, it's the worst clicky, clunky, out of date poo platform that you can have. Rumble's crap. Odyssey is literally frigging off the charts. Everyone that goes on there for the first time just loves it. Everything works really fast. In fact, this live stream is over on Odyssey right now, okay? It is just so easy to use. It's really fast and really clean, and lots of people are using Odyssey now. So the mailing list, if something happens, sign up to that. That link is below this video, okay? You'll be glad you did, because like the stuff I put out yesterday, I can't do on YouTube, all right? So please sign up to the mailing list if you're still watching. That really helps. Also, the information. So like I said earlier, if you're a firefighter or you're a retired firefighter, it doesn't matter. Have you got any experience whatsoever about dealing with wildfires? If you've only attended one and you was like helping out as an advisory capacity maybe, or a REMF behind the scenes, it's still good, because it's all information and we need to learn. We need to try and figure out this, because what we are being presented with is not what's actually happening. And I think it's safe to agree that most of us agree with that. after the presented information that we saw earlier. All right. So yes, please send me an email. That address is below this video. And lastly but not least, anyone who wants to donate to help the cause, they're free to do so. All of that information is below this video. And I'm aware that some people have donated already, which is amazing. It seriously is. We've had nothing on PayPal, but like I said, I didn't expect anything for tonight. I really did not expect anything, because some of you know, not all of you in the chat, I usually do live streams on a Friday night at 9 o'clock every Friday on this channel. It's a great community there. This is something I couldn't shy away from. I had to do it ASAP. So yes, it is absolutely relevant. Okay, so we are pretty much going there now. Oh my god, look at this, 176 likes. Oh, really? Please hit the like button, guys. That's a bit shocking, because there was nearly 1,500 people in there. Wow. Maybe there's not many moderators in there reminding people to put a thumbs up, but to be honest, most people, it's a common courtesy. If you go onto a live chat, hit the thumbs up. Done. If you hate it, you can't stand it, just leave a chat. But when I see, you know, nearly 1,500 people in there watching, I would have thought there'd at least been about 1,200 thumbs up. And someone said just now, under 200 thumbs up. Full of hope. A member. Thank you very much indeed for that. And hopefully, yeah, people will listen. And a flashlight fetish. Yes, I know. Since that live stream last night, loads of people have been talking about the flashlights. And any of you guys who was on the live stream last night, those 5 free flashlights that we gave away, I got on it about 8 o'clock this morning, and they've already been processed. They're going to go out today. All right, so really on it, really quick. You guys are going to be seeing them real soon. Okay, which is awesome. Duct tape. All right, this is cool, because this is people's ideas of what to put in the bag. Right. Oh, is that the thumbs up? I hope so. I hope so, Bob. Yeah, Cornish Bob. Do you know what? When I spoke to you at the prepper meet and you said that you'd done the comment on the giveaway, I couldn't find it anywhere. It doesn't come up as Cornish Bob. It said like KR35S or something. No wonder I freaking couldn't find it. I just wish you'd have used Cornish Bob in that name and I would have found you instantly. But that's why it was a freaking ball ache. 3 times I went through all of those comments. You little git. That's why. But yeah, that's good. So it looks like people are hitting the thumbs up. That's good. Thank you, guys. It really helps, because like I said, if not many people hit the thumbs up, this video doesn't really go anywhere, and people aren't going to share it, because like I said, the stuff they're putting in the news is nothing, which I shared earlier. And like I said, I don't really know if this video is going to be around for much longer, because they do tend to take videos like this down, because they don't like people being woken up, especially with someone like me and many others who've got an half decent following, I guess. Stephanie Kelly, another member, awesome. We had another new member join earlier as well that I saw, so that's good. The members are coming on board. So yes, we're going to go and see, what's this? Zinc tablets. Right, okay. Yeah, we're just looking at what people's thoughts and input were about the bag, which I talked about earlier. Like I say, if any of you guys live in any of those zones that are potentially at risks, if you haven't got a bag, get your skates on, because the way that they're using this tech, I mean, we're talking Hawaii, Tenerife, Canada, and Portugal. There could be another one tomorrow. All right, just make sure that you're squared away, okay? Oh, it's funny. You guys are great in the comments, aren't you? Yeah, there you go. Agile minded. Wash your bits and pits, people. Yeah, absolutely. We was taught it in the military back in the day. Insect repellent, maybe, but if you got all that fire and smoke, I don't think you'll see many insects. But I suppose once you're out of the area and it's hot, then yeah, then you're going to be getting bitten like crazy. Oh dear. Some of you guys. Oh. Oh dear. Yeah, do you know what? I've done some of that, but because lots of materials are mixed when they get washed and dried, like nylon and stuff, they don't really burn that well. But I should imagine if you're using a lot of wool, you know, that's pretty good. But yeah, I've not had good results of that. I know some people have, but yeah, I think it's down to the process. You've really got to fluff it up so you can catch that spark. Someone said Vaseline in their kit bag for evading wildfires. I wouldn't personally. Yes, it's good for chafing, etc. I can see it for that, but it's highly flammable. And if you're moving through hot areas, I wouldn't want to be carrying that, because that is what I use for starting fires. Just an idea. Bin liners. Yeah, it's a fair point. They're very good, very handy. A bulletproof vest. Wow. Duct tape, someone said. Yeah, duct tape's pretty cool. It's amazing. Someone said toilet roll. Well, yeah, like I said, you can get those tiny little 10 sort of tissue packs. I would say for one person for 3 days, you want 3 of those. Just put them in a little sealy bag, zip them up, squeeze the air out of them, and just throw them away. So yeah, not everyone wants to poo using leaves. I get it. So you might not be able to find any leaves. Then what are you going to do? Drag your backside across the lawn like a dog does when it's got worms? No. You might catch something on a brick. You don't want to do that. Naughty. Right. That's awesome. You guys are brilliant. Honestly. Beach Up Man. Awesome. Good to see you, sir. Your bottle that you sent me ages ago now makes an excellent candle holder. Really does. It's perfect. So, I think that's all we got time for tonight, guys, because, wow, I've been here for an hour and a half. I thought this would be half an hour and it'll be done. So, yes, we've shared a lot of information, and I hope you guys have learned something too. That's absolutely fantastic. So, I would like to thank anyone who's donated. I didn't expect any donations at all. I haven't got a clue apart from that one I saw earlier. That really, really helps. So thank you. That's awesome. Everyone who's commented, everyone who's taken part in this live chat in the chat room, really, really smart. And yes, Earthheart, again, hit the like button. So when you come out of the chat, you said your goodbyes. Hit the like. You've only got to do it once. It's really like one little click or one tap with a finger. It's done. It's real easy. And if everyone done it, it's good. Because what happens is I always enable the chat replay. So when everyone watches this after this live stream, they can watch all of your comments in there. So if everyone hit the like button and you wanted people to look at your input to this topic, you know, you're going to help by doing that. So yeah, make sure that you click the thumbs up button. It really helps. It says I've hit 1,000 likes. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, everybody. Lexa. Oh, live straw. Where did that go? Oh, it's just gone. It's moved. 2,000 likes by tomorrow night. Ah, look. There you go. Nice one. Always. Some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, and everyone who stayed this long watching this on the replay, who couldn't make it to the chat, and I've had quite a few comments on some of my videos recently that lots of people have become unsubscribed from my channel. Their notification bell is no longer ticked to all notifications. So if you remember, and if you would, could you please double check when you finish this stream, etc. And just make sure that you are still subscribed and the notification bell is still turned on, because loads of people were absolutely gutted that they missed that live stream when I gave away all of those free torches, that they weren't notified. They had no idea. So even though people subscribe, they hit the bell, YouTube have got a really nasty way of dealing with people like me talking about things like this by doing tactics like that. So please, can you check? And if you were unsubscribed or your notification bell was no longer on all notifications, can you let me know in the comment section underneath this video, and I'll be going through those. And yeah, something needs to be done about this because it's bang out of order. It really, really is. So, oh my God, Deborah, thank you very much for that. Bloody hell, that awesome donation on PayPal. Deborah, thank you so very much. Like you wouldn't believe. That is absolutely, oh, you're a legend. Thank you so much. And the moderators, without you moderators, I just don't know how this would have gone. Now, I did see that Earthheart was a moderator. Oh, Christ, you as well. You had to resubscribe. This is what I'm saying. This is happening a lot. So please check, guys and girls. And yeah, you lost your moderator status, which I reinstated as soon as I saw that. So yeah, fair play, sweetheart. That's really, really good. And yeah, the notification bell, make sure that that's ticked to the top one, because if not, you know, when I do a live stream like this, completely out of the blue, no notice, you won't get a notification, and you won't know unless you periodically check my channel, which, let's face it, not many people do. Hence, the notification is really important, and the subscribe, because if you're not subscribed, you won't be able to see future videos. It's just how it is. And yeah, pretty much it. So have a good think about the video clips that you saw earlier. Really have a think about what you see in the mainstream media, what's being talked about, how they are blaming it on climate change, which is absolute BS anyway. Don't let a drama go to waste, or a crisis go to waste. It's one of their mottos, and they're always going to be using it through one of their mouthpieces, which is the mainstream media, obviously. All right? So that's it. All I'm asking for you guys is to really think about what you've seen and heard tonight and come up with your own conclusions. Do your own research. And if you need to email me, that address is below this video as well. You guys take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock UK time. Stay funky.